All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Football Podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are going to talk about DeMeco Ryans and the Houston Texans, him commenting on their rising expectations, what he had to say. So let's get into that. That is what we will end off the show with, because, again, the Texans have been a team that I've talked about a lot just because of what's happened with them getting Diggs now. So this is what he said. The expectations on the outside don't permeate inside our building. For us, when everyone is really striving and putting the work in to be better, and that's what it's all about. We don't care about expectations. Talk doesn't win games. We have to go out there and play good football when the time comes. This is what he said about Stefon Diggs. We look at the guy's entire career, and he's done how he's been productive. The guy's been an all-pro. The guy's been an all-pro player. He's been a Pro Bowl player, over 1,000 yards for multiple seasons. So we're excited about adding Diggs to our team. This is the other thing he said. So he said we're always hunting. We're always hunting. That doesn't change for us. We're always hunting. Expectations on the outside, wherever they may be, it really doesn't change who we are. So yeah, that's what I was trying to say at the top of the show when explaining what this segment was going to be about. But right now, he says, yeah, we're always hunting. We're not the team that's going to be hunted. We're the ones hunting. And you could say that, but at some point, maybe if the Texans go on and they win the Super Bowl, well, you're no longer going to be the hunters. Teams are going to be coming after you. And teams might be coming after you anyways because of the moves that they've made this offseason. Made a lot of moves on defense. And then, you trade for Joe Mixon, and then you make a big splash, and you trade for Stefon Diggs to add to your receiving core. I mean, this is another team that I like going into 2024 a lot. And I think also what he said, though, is important, is that you also got to go out there and prove it. Like, you can't just be like, oh, yeah, look at us. We're really good. On paper, yes. But now, yeah, you got to go out there and show that you are a good team. And I think they definitely will. This is another team that's heading in the right direction. I think you have a quarterback and a coach that know how to put things in perspective. I think C.J.Stroud is a humble guy. And I don't think that they're going to get caught up in everything and be like, yeah, we're going to be good. No, they're going to go out there and prove it. And they're going to be one of the best teams in the AFC. Right now, they're the team that's the favorite in the AFC South, and rightfully so. They won it last year when really no one picked them to do that. They were looked at as being a team that was going to finish with a bad record, but no, they ended up making the playoffs, winning a playoff game. And this offseason, I mean, what they've done on defense, big moves, on both sides of the ball. Like I said, you also brought in Danielle Hunter on the defensive side of the ball, Al Shire, Danico Autry on defense. Again, really like what the Texans have done. This is going to be a really good team, and I can't wait to see how this team stacks up against the big guys in the AFC. How if when they rematch against the Ravens, going up against the Chiefs. I'm really intrigued by that. And then going up against the Bills as well. To see Diggs match up against his old team. It's going to be fun. But, I think there's going to be some teams that are going to say, hey, this team's made a lot of noise this offseason. Let's go out there and beat them. Now that the expectations are higher. They could say they don't care about the expectations, but they are there. Because this team, I mean, this team could go to the Super Bowl. 100%. Well, I shouldn't say 100%, but you know what I'm saying. On paper, you look at this team with the quarterback they have. There's a chance they could do that. Now, again, I'm not going to look at them as a team that is the best team in the AFC, because we had that conversation in our production meeting, and I said I'm not ready to say that they are the best team, because I still pick 15 over there in Kansas City and the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs to me are still the best team. Maybe they don't. Maybe on offense, they're lacking in certain areas, particularly when it comes to wide receivers. And yeah, their wide receiver group got a little bit thinner because of things that have gone on recently. But I still look at them as the best team. So can the Texans beat them? Absolutely. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. We know this. But to me right now, the Chiefs are still the best team. The Texans, though, I mean, they're definitely up there. I would put them. They're definitely top 5. But I'm definitely going back and forth on where I would rank them specifically, because I'd probably still put the Ravens, and but see, I like the Bengals, healthy Bengals squad. But C.J.Stroud went into Cincinnati and beat the Bengals and Joe Burrow. But, I mean, out of respect for Burrow and the Bengals, I got to put them up there as well. So I'd probably rank the Texans 4 or 5 at the moment. Because then you still got the Bills, you still got the Dolphins. I mean, I like the Texans better than the Dolphins. And I probably like them better than the Bills at the moment. So yeah, I'd probably put the Texans in at 4. I'd probably put them at 4. Because I'm trying to think. I think that's fine. Because I like them better. Yeah, and you look at the AFC North, I like them better than the Steelers, definitely. I mean, the Steelers are further down on the list. And then you got the Browns, too. Browns, I think, they're probably in that same group with, like, the Bills, the Dolphins. Yeah, I'd put them in that same group. They're duking it out for that 5th spot. When I'm ranking the teams. But yeah, so that I put the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Bengals ahead of the Texans right now. But again, that could all change. But I'm really excited with what they're going to be able to accomplish this year. C.J.Stroud, I think, is going to be an MVP candidate. Now, adding Diggs now only helps. I mean, now you're hoping Tank Dell comes back healthy. Nico Collins had a solid season. Dalton Schultz had a good year with them. They brought him back. Texans are ready to go. And I think, you got those rising expectations, but I think they'll definitely meet those expectations. I mean, there's no reason why this team, can't go far. Other than, the teams that I ranked ahead of them. But again, I mean, they definitely closed the gap. They're gonna be an improved team. And, they're gonna give these teams that I ranked ahead of them problems. And they're gonna match up against pretty much all these teams. They're gonna go up against the Ravens again. We'll see if if the game could be closer this time, because both games really weren't. Particularly the second game in the playoffs. We'll see how they play against Mahomes. And I think, the Texans could be that team that the Chiefs open up against. Because I think the Texans are a road team. I think I went over that the other day. But yeah, they that could be the matchup we see week 1. But we'll see them match up at some point. And then they play. And then the Texans play the Bills at some point too. So we'll see how Diggs does against the Texans. Against the Bills. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But I think it's important that DeMeco Ryans kind of keeps things in perspective with saying that we got to go out there and win games. And I think the Texans are going to be able to handle these expectations. I think this group definitely, it seems like that. So, like I said, I think C.J.Stroud is going to be an MVP candidate in 2024. You're going to continue to see his game improve. And, let's hope that the defense with what they did there, addressing the front seven, bringing in Danielle Hunter another year, Will Anderson's second year now. If the defense improves too, I mean, definitely you're looking at a complete team. Now, again, every team has their flaws, but this could definitely be one of those complete teams, one of the more complete teams in the NFL. So, again, looking forward to it. And, again, we'll see what they do in the draft. We still got the draft. So, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about the Texans, what DeMeco Ryans had to say. How do you guys think the Texans will perform in 2024? I mean, I think, I don't think there's that many people that think they're going to flop. I think this team is going to be really good. Because, I mean, you've had teams in the past where they make all these additions and you're like, oh, man, they're going to be really, I mean, look at what look at the Jets from last year. But that was because Aaron Rodgers got hurt. I mean, if you look at the other additions that they made, I mean, Dalvin Cook, you thought was going to be better, wasn't. They bring in Alan Lazard and Randall Cobb, and they were not good. I know Tampa Bay, when they made all their moves, getting Brady, Antonio Brown, Rob Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette, that turned out well. But I was going back to, like, 2011, when I think it was Vince Young, right? He said, oh, this is a dream team because you had him, you had Michael Vick, Deshaun Jackson, LaShawn McCoy, all those guys on that team at the time, and the Eagles were not good in 2011. They were not. And I remember Vince Young actually started for the Eagles at one point during the year, and they beat the Giants on Sunday Night Football, and that actually was the year the Giants won the Super Bowl. And last time the Giants were a respectable team, honestly. Well, I mean, at least in my eyes, because, I don't know, 2016 and 2022 right now just are fluke years. But they could turn that around this year. But yeah, I mean, you go back, but again, the 2011 Dream Team Eagles, yeah, that was a flop. That was a flop. So yeah, I mean, again, I brought up Tampa. Tampa, with what they did, bringing in Brady and the guys I just mentioned, yeah, they won the Super Bowl. But then you got, some other teams where it didn't work out. This, I think, is going to work out. I think you got the right people in place for it, the right players, the right personnel. This team is going to be really good, and I'm looking forward to it. So, but yeah, with that, that's pretty much it with the show for today. I thank you guys for tuning in. As I always say, make sure to tune into our other shows as well on the Sports Network here, GSMC Sports Network here. We got, other stuff going on. Like I said, the play-in games, last couple of days, we had the 76ers move on, so they'll be playing the Knicks. And then the Heat, they'll be playing against the Bulls without Jimmy Butler. So make sure to tune into Nelson's show for that. Get his thoughts on it. I mean, I always talk about injuries with the NFL. I mean, it really does stink when guys get hurt. You can't avoid it. Can't avoid it. But yeah, so we got the NBA playoffs starting. The NHL playoffs will be starting soon as well. Yeah. So, and then of course, like I always say, baseball's in full swing. So make sure to tune into our other shows, get other perspectives, and yeah. So other than that, that's pretty much it from me. That is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Like I said, we'll be back again tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern time as always. And until then, I am your host, Kenneth Gruenfelder, signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Take care.